Hello, hello,
Oh,
hello, Hawks fans. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. I am here with my man, my ace, my mellow, Mr. Chris A1 from Day One More. Always doing content with this dude. This is my brother from another. We are talking Hawks basketball tonight. We are pleased to be
yeah.
with you. We want to talk about game three and what happened and also what didn't happen and what was I don't know, what are the takeaways that we can learn from this third game going forward. But first, you know how we do it on For My ATL Sports One. We're gonna cue the music. Be back in
Yes,
a second.
sir.
And we are live. What up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Man, what it do? What it do, everybody, man? I'm happy to be back on here talking some Hawks, man. Things happen, so we be missing different things. But first and foremost, I want to salute the Atlanta Hawks for taking care of the Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
Definitely a team that, what I'm saying, would definitely had the Hawks number this past couple of years. So to be able to get the first one against them as we have a few more matchups, coming. I'm happy that the Hawks was able to do that. But I know we're going to be talking about OKC and Atlanta game three. But hey, man, happy to be back on here with your T. Will, man. I know we both ATLians, so we
Yes,
definitely going to be getting into this Hawks. The good, the bad. If it's any ugly, we'll definitely talk about it. As we got another matchup tonight, back at home, Washington Wizards tonight. But
yeah,
yeah,
we do.
man, thank you for having me on, brother.
Brother, you don't have to thank me. Let me tell you something. When I said you my brother from another, I meant it, and it's always a pleasure to do a show with you. I mean, we talk every damn day. You know what it is, Chris. Hey man,
Yes,
I
sir.
doing shows with you, so it's all good. Ron is in the chat. Q Lavender is in the chat. Q Lavender says, "What up, T Will and A1? What up? What up?
Q
What up?"
Lab, what it do?
And my boy Ron Thomas
Ron, what it do?
building. What's going on, Ron? Ron is a funny dude, man. Funny
Good
dude.
people right there, man.
He is, but he said something the other day, man, and he's every now and then he'll drop a zinger, and it's just funny, man. Ron is my guy. What to do, Ron? All right, so let's get into these Hawks, man.
Okay.
So we played Charlotte the other night. God dang it! Why won't the internet just work with me, internet?
You know how I do, man. I'm telling you, just, it doesn't know it's supposed to, work when you tell it to.
Well, I know, right? It's just being difficult. All right, so we beat Brooklyn the first game. We beat Charlotte
Oh,
the second game, and I was happy with
mhm.
efforts from both. And then we
Okay.
get in last night, and if you didn't watch the game, you probably think the Hawks got their clocks clean, but it really
Right.
wasn't the case. They really didn't start to separate until midway through the fourth quarter. Matter of fact, at halftime, the game was 57-56 Hawks. A third quarter, I believe it was 89-86 Hawks. And then midway through the fourth, it's like we just forgot how to play basketball. So I don't know. I know you had some things you wanted to get into,
hmm
specifically with JJ's performance. So hey, man, have at it, Chris. What are your thoughts on his performance thus far? And what are your thoughts on where he's going in his approach this year?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say that I totally agree about if you just look at the box score, you would think that the Hawks got blown out. They didn't deserve to be on the same floor as OKC, and that's not the case at all. Because the Hawks, first of all, I mean the points in the paint, they lost, but it was only by 2 points. The fast break points, they won that battle.
Hmm.
Um, the bench points, they won that as well,
Yeah.
47-23.
Yep.
So that lets you know that guys were coming off the bench producing, but it also lets you know that the offense wasn't doing that much. And I'll talk about that in 1 second. But again, going back to the game, the Hawks had this game. The Hawks had the lead, and honestly, if the Hawks don't allow that late surge to end the first half, the Hawks are up by double digits going into halftime.
Yeah.
So they could at least been up by 10 going into halftime. But again, OKC made a run. The Hawks was unable to stop the bleeding. And I felt that, okay, that's a bad omen right there because, first of all, you're on the road. Second, OKC, they're a good team and they was the number one seed last year. I mean, regardless of what happened in the playoffs, they still a good team. They did improve as well in the offseason. So my thing is you can't have guys like that giving them opportunities to, to get that mojo going into the locker room. So
Yeah.
when they got that mojo going into the locker room, then they came out, they jumped right on the Hawks. They
Yeah.
jumped right on us. But guess what? The Hawks of Atlanta probably been down by 20 points at the end of that third quarter.
Probably would have
The
been.
Hawks
Yeah.
battled.
Right.
They battled all the way back. You know what I'm saying? They battled all the way back. You had Garrison hit a three, came down, he hits a three. They called timeout. So we run to the end of the quarter. Then people have to realize that at one point in time, Atlanta took the lead back
Yep.
from OKC, 92-91, took the lead back. But unfortunately, after that, it was a 13-0 run led by Gilgeous-Alexander. And the Hawks just couldn't put it in the basket. Now, going to your question finally, Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson has left like little breadcrumbs so far of I'm not ready for the spotlight to fully be on me yet. But
Yeah.
you want to give him some grace because it is only 3 games.
Yeah.
So you have to give Jalen some grace. But in the first 3 games, I feel like he's being too passive. I feel like sometimes he's a liability on defense. I feel like he looks lost out there sometimes on the defensive end, and he's sometimes on the offensive end. You seen last night, it was Trey thought he was going to have him with a pick and pop, and the ball goes off his foot, turnover going the other way, and of course the turnover was going to be charged to Trey, but that wasn't Trey's fault. That was our number 2, quote unquote number 2, because we're paying him like a number 2. We know, everybody knows who is an Atlanta Hawks fan who Jalen Johnson is supposed to be this year.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot have Garrison Matthews being pretty much your number 2 ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no disrespect to Garrison. I
Mm-hmm.
got respect for Garrison. Honestly, I feel like Garrison has been playing harder on the defensive end and on the offensive end. I feel like right now he's shooting better. He's knocking down shots. And my thing is, even if he does miss it, you still have to respect it because he will knock it down. You know what I'm saying? Some people are calling him Gary Bird. I don't seen it. I've seen it.
Oh
But
wow. Oh
yeah.
wow.
I've seen people call him Gary Bird, man. It is what it is. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody need a nickname, I suppose. But yeah, man. But my thing is Garrison Matthews cannot be your number 2. Onyeka Okongwu, you want him to get his points. He was 3 for 9. But from the foul line, he was 7 for 9, and that's something that you can get from him. Something that you really can't get from Clint like that, on a consistent basis. A big that can knock down free throws.
Yeah.
JJ, 7
Hang,
points.
hang tight for a sec, Chris. Sorry about that.
What
So
you
Ray
got?
Collins says, "What's up, my fellas?"
What's up, Ray?
Q Lavender says, "Internet didn't doesn't like to work when your channel is hot." Hey, I appreciate it, Q.
Hey, man. Fact.
Channel is for my ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Raymond Collins, let's see. Q comes back and says, "For years, that's been the biggest problem. Got to learn how to finish plays." I think he meant
Yeah,
games.
yeah. Finish games.
Here's my question to you. And you alluded to this, but let's take a deep dive in, right?
All right.
Last year, you're high flying, slam dunking, defense playing JJ of the
Uh-huh.
Atlanta Hawks, and you're not looked at as the number 2, right? You're not placed on this mantle, right?
No.
You're
JJ, technically last year, if you really want to get technical, JJ was the 4th option.
right. So walk with me for a sec. You're the fourth option. There's no pressure on you, right? And you did great. And now you get this contract and you get 150 million, which I mean, still, but it's a good contract, but it's not like Harden esque. It's not like LeBron esque, but it does dictate that your responsibilities increase. Do you think that maybe Jaden is trying to do a little too much in his head to justify this? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on.
Uh, I mean, but what are you trying to justify? Everybody knew. You knew. The team knows. I mean, like, unless it's something else being said that JJ doesn't know that he's supposed to be the second option on this team. I mean, my thing is all the fans know. You can ask every fan who's supposed to be the guy behind Trey Young. Everybody's gonna say Jalen Johnson.
I, I
So my thing is, like, everybody knows your role.
yeah,
And you should know your role as well. It's like you see him, he's out there, and man, okay, because I don't want to go in on him because it's only 3 games.
right,
You
right,
know what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
So I'm picking my words wisely and carefully.
Yes,
But you know what I'm saying, but basketball is just like, at the end of the day, it's basketball. You know what I'm saying? Take your shots. You have opportunities. You're being too passive. And you're not having confidence in yourself too. I can tell in the first 3 games, I don't feel like you were fully confident in yourself. That's the
do,
way it looks like. I'm not saying. I mean, of course, we know everybody has confidence in themselves. That's on the court. But I'm just saying, like, displaying it. It just don't seem like you're fully displaying it. And being our number 2 for the Atlanta Hawks, who cares about what anybody else is think outside of Atlanta? You're still the number 2 for the Atlanta Hawks. That's the end. That's the whole end all and be all.
do you think that maybe he's putting too much pressure on himself? Because that's where I'm going, right? Like some guys can be a number two or a number three, or let's put it another way, right? Back in the day, but before I was married, I might have had a roster, right? I might have had a
Okay.
roster, and number two is always saying what. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't if I was your girl. I wouldn't do that. And then number two becomes number one, and sometimes the same issue that you had with your ex girl is the same issue that you have with your next
Uh,
girl. Now, the common denominator is you, but what I'm saying is sometimes there's pressure when taking on the mantle of responsibility that you didn't have before. Sometimes you have to mentally get ready for the role because, even though he was already doing it, maybe the pressure of not having to do it, maybe the pressure and the expectation of just going out there and playing was better for him. You get what and I'm throwing it out there because,
okay.
to your point, it's the first 3 games, right? He's got
You're right.
a whole nother 89 to get it together. It's not like he can't
79.
get it together. Well, my bad, 79. My bad. Sorry.
No, you
I'm
good.
so used to baseball 162.
Nah, I almost, man. I was almost right there with you. And I was like, oh no, we talking basketball.
I know, right? Let's see. Raymond says, "What's the channel to my page?" Hey, Raymond, thank you for asking. It's for my ATL Sports One on YouTube, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat
Yeah, drop
right.
it in the chat, man, for him. Heck
And there,
yeah.
there you go, Raymond.
Yeah, for my ATL Sports One, man. Check them out. Check them out. Give them a like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please do. But
Yeah.
I wonder if the expectation to this point is too much for him. Tell me your thoughts on that, Chris.
Bro, well, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't believe in that, because in that case, don't take the contract. I mean, I know that sounds far fetched. I mean, who's not going to take the contract? But I'm just saying, like, if you're not ready to step into that role, don't take my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me that, and like, so we can try to figure some other things out. Because, like, I don't want to. I mean, who in their right mind would say that, though, right? I understand. I get it. I totally get it. But my thing is, you're in the NBA. You're an NBA, bro. You're an NBA player, bro. You're an NBA player. I know 100 guys right now. You know what I'm saying? Whether if it's by passing by or personally, that would love to be in your shoes. And there's
Yeah,
some dogs out here too. Like, it's some dogs out here that's just not in the NBA.
yeah.
that would love your opportunity, bro, to play for the Atlanta Hawks and show everybody what they can do. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just not an excuse, and that's unacceptable if that is the excuse, or I'm not ready, or I'm saying anything. No, I need to see starting tonight, because you see it at OKC overall, man, just the Hawks overall. The Hawks are right there. Like, they're right there on the cuff of being a good basketball team. I see it. But
Yeah.
they're also leaving breadcrumbs in each game, game one, two, and it came in fruition last night. Little breadcrumbs on things that they can improve on. They
Yeah.
need to talk more. They need to be able to understand rotations. But the thing about it is, that's coming from the coaching. I mean, yeah, you can play basketball. Basketball is basketball if you know how to play the game. But
Right.
when you talk about having a coach who's supposed to, put you in the right places and spaces, you have to be able to talk, communicate, rotate, give extra effort.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, all the Atlanta Hawks players are not giving extra effort. Like, sometimes I see Clint standing in the paint, I see JJ rotating late, or I see JJ standing in the paint. Like, my thing is, I'm seeing too many Hawks standing around when there's other guys to be making plays. I'm seeing guys going under screens instead of over screens and fighting through screens. And I'm seeing guys not stepping up on the switches like fully. Like my thing is, like, I see it, let's say 36 minutes, but I can still pick out the rest of the time that they're not doing it. So that's still a whole quarter, because that's still 12 minutes. So my thing is, that adds up throughout the game, little effort plays and everything like that, trying to knock down the second chance points. I understand the ball is going to bounce how it's going to bounce. But
Yeah.
my thing is, you can still give the effort to try to get in there 100% of the time. The Hawks haven't played 48 minutes 100% of the time just yet. They're close. They're right there. They're on the cuff of being, like I said, a real team that you really gonna have to prepare for night in and night out, because they come to play. Almost scrappy, like, I hate to say it, the Miami Heat, but just that nature, scrappy nature. Like, we are playing like so much better defense. All it has to do is just continue to get better and continue to get better. That's why I say you really can't be too hard on the Hawks. It's
Yeah.
only 3 games in, and they're above 500. Hello, hello, hello. But
Mm-hmm.
at the
And
same
they're
time,
young.
though, it's just like the Atlanta Falcons. We still got to have different points to talk about where we need to improve.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
I'm liking what I'm seeing. Oh, definitely want to give a shout out to David Roddy. Something about them guys that wears an Atlanta jersey named Roddy. You know what I'm saying? It just was working out. Seriously, he had great minutes last night for the Atlanta Hawks.
He
I
did.
enjoyed him coming off the bench. My boy Demond called him Big Body Roddy. I was like, hey, that's so I guess that's his nickname now. So, but yeah, it was great seeing it, man. Because that's what you need, players like that. Because everybody knows that David Roddy, to the city of Atlanta as a whole, was a question mark for sure. Like, what we gonna do? Even when we got him, I know a lot of people, and initially me at first too, because I was like, who is David Roddy? I had to go do some research to even find out who he was. And my thing is, he's showing you who he is. It's only one, pretty much like one game, but he's still showing you like that. Hey, I'm an effort player. I can score. What I'm saying, I can take a foul and still, get the and one. I can give effort on both sides of the floor. Give me some minutes. And you want to see that. And if other guys start losing minutes behind it, then guess what? Better play up, because I want the best people in the rotation. I
Yeah.
want the best players in the rotation.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
know what I'm saying? If the Hawks continue to play team ball, similar to how they did in
Yeah.
game one, I feel like the Hawks will be very successful. Team defense, help one another out. You know what I'm saying? Don't overhelp as well too, because sometimes they'll overhelp, and then next thing you know, it's an open man. Just like a perfect example, I know it was one time with Garrison Matthews. He came running into the paint, uh, I guess attempting to try to help Trey, and
Mm.
then left a man open in the corner. Next thing you know, that's a wide open three.
Point. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want guys to stay with their guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to stay with our man first. Let's see what kind of happens, and then like if it's bigger players around, then maybe they can rotate over if there's really help that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So it's not it's really you can really kind of like nitpick. Overall, the Hawks are playing better. It's
Yeah.
just they just need to improve, give a little bit more extra effort,
Hmm.
play a full 48 minutes, and honestly, they do that night in and night out. They're going to be a very tough team to beat.
I agree. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of positives about this team. And my
Right,
takeaway last night was not that, oh my God, OKC beat us like one, whatever. Because if you didn't watch the game, we
right. Q laugh. My bad. I'm just
no,
saying to his point though.
you all good. You're all good. And Q Lab is right. But we played great. I mean, I think we even had like a 9 point lead at one point. We played great ball last night up until that fourth quarter, and it just fell apart. And look, it sometimes, in clutch situations, you just some of that is these guys don't really know each other, right? They
Right.
don't, and you're facing, to your point, the number one seed last year. This team can click it on whenever they need to. But I really want to talk about each of the players and what we saw. So we know what we got
Okay.
today. We know he's got some improvements to do. Um, but let me tell you something. Rissa Shea, he's got instincts. He's got basketball instincts that you can't teach. And
And
he was really he played well. Does he have some improvement? Sure, he does. But in my opinion, Ricochet played well last night. He had some putbacks. I don't know if he hit a three or not. He may. I'm not sure, but he's the kind of guy. Look, if my three isn't working, I can drive it to the bucket. I can make the necessary moves. I can get by guys. I'm going to score. No matter what, you put me on this court, I'm going to score. And just his instincts are very good. Even though
Right.
Dyson did not score, Dyson's defense is phenomenal. And can we just give our GM Landry some love? I mean, we've definitely kind of, got on him these past couple of seasons, but
Right.
look, with these new acquisitions, like you say, with Dyson, with Ricochet, with Big Body Roddy, he seems to be plucking some gems away. And look at when Bogey comes back, when DeAndre comes back, when who's the other one, the rookie. Well, it's not a rookie, but you know what I'm
How
talking
about
about.
you talking about Buffkin?
Yeah, when Buffkin comes back, we got a squad. Now I don't know what we're gonna do, okay, but I foresee good things. What are your thoughts on Ricochet specifically, Chris?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Ricochet is impressing me little by little every game. And the thing about it is, it's going to be hard to keep him on the bench. Like DeAndre Hunter, listen to me because I'm talking to you, sir. I understand you got this knee ailment right now. I mean, I think he's questionable for tonight. I haven't looked at the updated because I know they're about to get ready to play him in a little bit here. But yeah, you with this knee thing, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're gonna end up coming off that bench a lot sooner than any of us expected. Because I expected DeAndre Hunter to start coming off the bench eventually, um, for Ricochet, but it's gonna end up being sooner, man. Ricochet, he has no fear. He really is a European product. He really is pro ready as far as when it comes to just instinct. Does he have things he has to work on? Of course. The man is only 19. Chill. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is he's 19 years old and he had the instinct that he has. He'll go in, he'll play defense, he'll play offense, he'll grab rebounds, he gives effort.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
thing is he's showing that now at 19. Wait till Ricochet gets like 21
Oh, he's
and
going.
really gets into the NBA because right
Yeah,
now he's a rookie. He hasn't even gotten into the NBA. And what I mean by that, yeah, I'm about to break that down. He hasn't gotten into the weight room like with the guys. Like, of course, you get the off season stuff, but wait until you start getting the trainers, the
right,
personal trainers that's really going to lock in and help unlock everything in your full potential. You know what I'm saying? Working with personal trainers, team trainers, getting your own regiment, like finding out who you are as a person and you know what I'm saying, as a player and putting the right things in your body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just wait till all that stuff goes on. Then you know he's gonna be flying back home, getting that food over there too. You know they got good food and stuff going on over there and over there in France. So it's just like my thing is wait until he really gets into the NBA and when he gets 21. And man, the sky is can possibly be the limit. Again, only 3 games.
Hmm.
And of course, you know, he was coming off the bench, but last night in the starting role, I actually liked it. I actually liked it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like um he will continue to grow.
Yeah.
You like what you see. Yeah,
Yeah.
again, you don't want to be too hard on really none of the players. Too hard. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to win now, of course, but you just can't be like too hard in 3 games. So again, um definitely got to see improvement though from Jalen Johnson. Like I'm overall, that's the guy that I can say I need to see more from. I really do. I need to see more confidence, like how he dunks on people and gives that fit, that confidence, that stare down, and everything like that. Like I need him to play with confidence. I need people to I need him to make people feel him. Like I
Yeah.
need, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, like pause, whatever you however you want to call it. Like I mean, because I know the world we live in, bro. But
Ah,
anyway, anything, but it just like no, for real, it just you know what I'm saying, like just to have that though, man. You gotta overall as a team, bro. You like I said, the Hawks 3 games in, you just want to see a little bit more effort. Like for me, a little bit more communication, a little bit more togetherness.
hmm.
They got to do it. Ricochet, he's on the way. I really like what I'm seeing from the kids so far, man. I mean, again, you know, you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid too early, I guess, you know. But bro, the kid looks good, and
Yeah.
some people, and if you was just watching the Hawks at one point in life, you just started watching the Hawks, you would think that Ricochet was JJ. You know what I'm saying? Because just of how he's attacking. Ricochet is attacking. He has no fear. And that's what you want. You want players that's going to go get after it because you know you already have at least one guy who will go get after it. That's Trey Young. But of course we know we need more. That's why we're doing all these things. We know we need more. We're trying to figure it out. And the Hawks are going to figure it out. Dyson Daniels, honestly, with the shooting, you're going to have to live and die with that.
Yeah.
Because my thing is nobody expects Dyson to just come out there and just torch every night because he hasn't shown that ability to do that in the past. So with Dyson, it's going to be growing pains like that as long as he's still that defender, though, on the other end. And even Dyson can improve on his defenders. Like, shoot, uh, I hate to go back to the Charlotte game, but for example, a couple of those shots from LaMelo Ball did not have to happen if Dyson just really just continues to be the guy who we know he is, that
Mhm.
defensive deacon, that defensive demon, whatever you want to call him. Just you know that you can't let, for example, you can't let Lonzo Lamelo Ball, who was shooting unlimited threes, it seemed like that night. You can't
Right.
let him just walk up in a fast break and just get a wide open three when you're standing.
And
That
yeah.
can't happen. You know what I'm saying? But that's nitpicking. I will admit that. It's just, you know, I'm just pointing out like little plays of effort that if we give maximum effort, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that doesn't have to happen. You know, so it just again, it's nitpicking because it's 3 games in. But again, I just see things that you can improve on to better your chances to win the game. That's all.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Definitely agree. And Q Lavender makes a good point.
Damn.
J
I just read that. Damn.
Yeah, JJ reminds me of Collins when he first came to Atlanta. And you know what? Me too. Me too. I hadn't thought about it, but now that I think about it, I'm not saying, step for step, but they do kind of put you in the mindset of each other. Which brings another question.
Dang, that's tough. 'Cause I
How
can't even really argue with that right now.
you can't. Do you think that John Collins was mismanaged here?
I mean, my thing is, you know, first of all, the trade that just sealed it for John Collins, like being out of here eventually was when we brought DeJounte in.
Yeah.
You know, because he was already like secondary option You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll get the lobs and all the stuff like that. But one thing that he can't do that JJ can is bring the ball up the floor like JJ can control the ball. John Collins, that's not who you want to be doing that.
Correct.
So that's one thing. I know they got like similar games, I guess, around in the post area, but again, I just feel like JJ is more skilled than John Collins overall.
Okay.
As far as being mismanaged, again, he was buried down into the depth chart, man. There was times where DeAndre Hunter is even getting more plays ran for him than you had, which I mean, understandably so, he has more ability. But you like I said, you start seeing him get buried in the depth chart because even Clint was ahead of him because Clint gonna roll it, gonna pick and roll and get the lobs. So you think about that. First of all, that's really was the first, I say the first strike, or maybe even the second strike, what I'm saying, as far as when we got Clint Capella, that hurt John Collins because John Collins was limited. What I'm saying? Then, he was able to hit the little jumper and everything sometimes. But I don't know about y'all, but I never liked John Collins shooting. Like, I never liked him shooting the three because that wasn't his game. I know you got to adapt and all stuff like that, but the player that John Collins is, he don't need to be out there shooting no threes. Unfortunately, that's what his role had to become because
Right.
he's on the team and you paid him.
Right.
So, and you
Right.
can't trade him. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't trade him for what you wanted.
Correct.
So his value steady going down, steady going down.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like the highest that his value was back, at the end of that 2021 Eastern Conference run. After that, his the value started going down, down, down.
It,
So
it,
I'm just saying. Then, like I said, you get buried into the depth chart. You can't even really just as far as usage, you really can't do anything with it. Really, what I'm saying. So I don't. So as far as by being mismanaged, it's a possibility in that, yes, only
mhm,
because of the other moves that was made around him. Like, to get
right.
Clint, then to get DeJounte. You still
Right.
got Hunter, you still got Trey. It's
Right.
like it ain't enough basketball to go around.
Stay right
Especially for a
there.
guy who is limited like Collins. If Collins had some of JJ's ability, like to hit like a little fadeaway jump shot, often to be, more to be a little bit more skilled around the rim, to knock down the three and look comfortable doing it. And of course, to be able to control the ball, have a little dribble, to be able to create some things for yourself. If he had like a little bit more ability, I feel like he had been able to work his way maybe into the offense a little bit more. But John Collins was limited as much as we love him. And thank you for all the memories, what I'm saying, because at one point in time, John Collins was all we had.
Yeah.
We didn't have nothing but John.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not never disrespect the man, but he just got buried and buried as far as the usage goes because it was just other players that were better
Yeah.
and
No.
the moves that was made.
Yeah. Yeah. No. You're right. But stay right there for a sec because you touched on something. You said we kept adding these players and everyone did not necessarily fit into what we were trying to do and where we were trying to go. And I think the converse is true for this present regime because looking at who we have now, I can see the vision. I can see what they want to do. Doesn't mean we'll get there, but I can see what they're trying to do. And it does seem to fit together more. And I'm talking about Ricochet and Daniels and JJ and Trey and Onyeka. You can see where they're trying to go, and just at a first glance, it looks pretty good. If everybody can develop, if we can develop into what Quinn is trying to make us, I think we can be very successful. Tell me your
Right.
thoughts on that because so many times, and I bring it up because so many times GMs will go out and get this guy and get that guy and not think of how the pieces fit together, right? And I'll give you an example of that. The Braves will make moves that people don't understand on the outside. They'll go and get a guy that's playing for another team that's hitting 200, but he'll come over here and hit 260. because of the
Yeah.
coaching staff, because of the environment. And the
Yep.
Braves look at metrics and they say, okay, well, his hard hit rates, pretty good. What's going on? But my point is, they
Uncle Jesse is a perfect example. He done been
right,
around there almost every team, and he
correct.
just come back to the Braves and just be,
Correct, correct. But they seem to understand chemistry and how it plays. And looking at Landry, right? Just looking at the moves of this present regime, and I don't know if it's Landry or if it's Quinn or if it's both, right? An amalgamation of both men, but it looks like they have a very clear picture as to what they want to do, how they want to play, and the type of team they want to build going forward. Do me a favor, Chris. Talk through that. Give me your thoughts on that. And also, let's do some housekeeping. So, sorry, Q Lavender says JJ can be our Jalen Brown if that makes sense to help Trey. It does. It
yeah.
does. Robert Blackman says Dyson Daniels was an underrated move. Very much so, Robert.
Man, I
I
was
didn't
trying to tell folks in the off season, man. Folks called me crazy. Folks talking about, boy, what am I snorting? I was like, what in the world?
Right.
So all on my page talking crazy. I was
Right.
like, whoa.
Well,
I was like, this man ain't been given no opportunity. This man for to get opportunity. You gotta look at things from a different perspective and how young he is. It
yeah,
just like in New Orleans, it just was. It's the same thing that was in New Orleans. It wasn't enough basketball to go around for Dyson.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just wasn't. So all I need you to do is play defense, get a steal and everything, get a bucket whenever you can, if you can.
yeah.
But just make sure you give him the ball to the guys on offense who who are better skilled than you. That's
Uh,
almost kind of like what it was for him over here. Dyson is with a coaching staff who is like, yeah, we want that defensive guy. Yes. But if you have an open shot, you have the ability and you have the right to take that shot.
yeah, yeah,
Shoot it. And
yeah,
you can tell already. I mean, you could tell it in Australia, like he was when he was playing for Australia, you could tell that like, hey, this guy's a better ball player than what was advertised.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like you seen it. And now, in 3 games, even though last night was, his worst game so far, only scoring 7 points. But hey, our number 2 scored 7 points too. So I mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it was just a bad game for them offensively.
yeah,
And let's give OKC their credit. They're a good defensive team. Like they rotate, they switch, they talk to each other, they get some whistles too. But at the end of the day, hey, I mean, I guess what team doesn't? I guess some nights
yeah.
they
No,
they
that's
were the home team, So, but the Hawks again, going back to the beginning of the conversation, the Hawks were in the game. The Hawks took the lead 92-91 at one point in time. So it wasn't like the Hawks was getting blown out. But if you box score watch, you'll think that the Hawks don't belong in the same league as them. No, the fourth quarter really got away from them. After that 13-year-old run, the
yeah.
Hawks could not recover.
It did. It. Oh my God, it did. But to your point, that they played well.
Facts, Robert.
The night, I remember the night that because I think me, you, Bryce, and somebody else all got on a podcast. It might have been the night that they traded for him, or the night after. And I was like, "Who the hell is this Dyson Daniels? And what we get for him?" And I really was kind of pissed. But you know,
I
I really was.
understand because
Remember,
you see, my thing is if that was Herb Jones, you wouldn't have heard a peep out of anybody.
right, right,
That's the
right,
crazy thing.
right,
If it
right,
was Herb, you wouldn't have heard a peep out. They'd be like, "Oh, we got Herb Jones." Shoot,
right.
all right, exactly how folks would have been.
Yeah,
But
but I had never heard of Daniels, and I got to be honest, I was pissed. So I'm glad we did make the move, and I can see what they're trying to do going forward. Chris, do me a favor. Talk to me on, or talk to us rather about how you feel about the vision of Landry and Quinn and putting this
oh
team.
yes. Okay, so we jump on Landry, and in the past couple of years, you can say subjectively, deservingly so, because it's just like, bro, what are you doing? I mean, but at the same time, he inherited, what I'm saying, everything since the DeJounte Murray trade.
Correct.
So it's kind of like you got to come in and kind of like just micromanage in a way, because it's like, all right, I didn't really make these moves. They just made me the GM.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I would say I feel like Landry is starting to make moves to try to help the coach. I feel like the squad that we have now is more, especially with Trey. It is more to Quinn's liking. I do think that Quinn would like to add maybe another piece if he could, but right now salary cap and just you got to have two to tango. Right now would prevent that. But again, we have guys that are out. Bogey, what I'm saying, you don't think we could have used a healthy Bogey last night? I mean, just from a shooting standpoint,
Definitely.
just from a shot making standpoint, especially from the 3 point line, I think that would have helped. Kobe Buffkin. You don't think we could have used Kobe Buffkin if he was available? I think so, because that would have gave Trey a little bit more rest, because Trey right now is playing a lot of minutes. He played the most minutes out of everybody last night,
He did. He
and
did.
he's been playing a lot of minutes because we don't have that true backup point guard, and we're using Veet, and Veet has been serviceable, but it's still we can have him doing other things if we had our full roster. So that's another thing to take in consideration too. The Hawks have started the season off unhealthy, and what I'm saying, in certain aspects. DeAndre Hunter with his knee, Bogey, hamstring. Then we had the big man Barlow still with like a lower back contusion or something like that. And then so you only got like Mo Gay right now, and and I don't know what's going on with Larry Nance. I'm trying to figure out why he's not getting any minutes. Is he
Yeah.
hurt? Is he about to be traded? Like, I don't know. It's just like, what's going on with Nance? Because you've seen him in the preseason, and you seen him giving effort. You seen him, um, being a good player. But and with I feel like again Landry are getting Quinn type of guys, because Quinn likes defense. So you're getting more guys that's going to be playing defense, but everybody has to sell out on defense. Like, has to sell out on that effort. Like, you have to be all the way in 48 minutes. That's how you're going to win games. That's how you're going to help build the foundation. Like you were saying, seeing the vision, like I can see it, because before you really kind of didn't see where the hell we were going. But it's like, at least I can kind of see like a foundation you're trying to create. You got Trey, you're veteran. You got young guys, JJ, who's supposed to elevate. You got Dyson Daniels, somebody who you can put on the floor with Trey to help on defense, and can give you some points. Okay, another elevation. You got Ricochet, who's a rangy guy who can create his own shot, who give an effort, who looks better than it's an advertised, as far as just from it, just effort alone. And the guy can get buckets playing on both ends. Like that's another uplift. So it's just like you see where they're trying to go. You just have like different improvements that you have to do that you can't do right now. So you just got to give maximum effort. You got to give a maximum effort. If you had, for example, if we was able, hypothetically speaking, let's say Dallas doesn't take Lively. Let's say Atlanta takes Lively. If you was to have him, that's a more athletic and younger big that you can roll around, and you really wouldn't need Clint anymore.
Yeah.
What makes Clint valuable on the Atlanta Hawks is simply this: he can get boards. He'll miss bunnies here and there, but the thing about it is, until you get somebody who is taller than him or more athletic than him, basically until you make him expendable,
Yeah.
Clint's going to be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Clint's going to be here.
Yeah.
And that's just the end all and be all. But I mean, what do you think about it though, man?
No, I think you're absolutely right. What's his name was a 7-footer last night, and Onyeka did well, but the only other person that would have a chance on guarding this guy would be Clint. So to your point, and he does get boards, and you do need that, right? So I'm in line step with you. Just kind of wanted to look at the output last night, or the point production. So Ricochet got 13 last night, which is pretty good. JJ got 7. Need a little more, JJ. Capella got 6. Trey Young got 24. Trey doing Trey Young stuff. Daniels got 7, but his defense was great. Okamu got 14. Big Body Roddy got 10. Mgoya, is that his name? Okay. He got 2. And Matthews got 14, right? And Matthews looked good. Matthews really looked good last night. So my thoughts are, if we can get Bogey and Dre, and Jesus, the rookie, I forget his name, but whatever. What's his name? Help me out.
Ricochet.
No, not Ricochet.
Who?
That's right
Oh,
now.
Kobe Buster.
If we can get Buffett, if we can get
Oh,
those three back, we got a squad. Because bottom line is last night we stopped scoring. Last night we couldn't get together when it counted most. Again, you look at the score, 128 to 104. You think they beat us down, but nothing could be further from the truth because again, up until the fourth quarter, with 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left, this game was 3 points. So again, we played well. I agree with what Q said. We did great not having all of our guys healthy. I agree with him 100%. I mean,
right.
I think
And
right,
that's why I said, man. Really, we just kind of, it's nitpicking because it's only 3 games, man. We got
right.
still got 79 more games to go. Um, overall, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from the Atlanta Hawks because I feel like honestly, our first 2 games we had opportunity to lose both,
Yeah, we
but
did.
and I feel like Hawks of old would have lost both, but
Probably.
instead we were 2-0 coming in and we had I don't care what nobody say we had OKC on the ropes. It's just that fourth quarter overall their defense and then like things that they were doing against Trey, like they started trapping Trey a lot,
They
getting
did.
the ball out of his hands because they know that he's the playmaker,
Yeah,
and there was nobody that really stepped up.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't named like Garrison Matthews or Yucca Conwu, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Outside of those guys, um, it wasn't like a whole lot of step up. So Trey coming off of one screen, you know what I'm saying? He got the J Dub dude, and then Jalen Williams, you got him. Then next thing you know, you got Wallace. Then next thing you know, you got Caruso. They throwing everybody at him.
yeah.
Get
They
the
kept
ball out your hand.
rotating traps. If he went left,
That's
they
it.
switched to two more guys. But they
There
kept
was no screen that he could go around to escape none all of that. It was no, so it just they did that on purpose, and it finally started working in the fourth quarter fully. And like again, it was just no step up, and you got to have your guys stepping up, especially your number two. That's where I come back to JJ again. Like you got to be like I'm not going to be so hard on Dyson. I'm gonna be more on JJ because my thing is you've been on this team.
yeah,
Dyson just got here.
yeah,
Yeah, I got to look at my veterans. Trey, I can't say nothing really about Trey. I mean, of course he wanted to do more, but you seen what happened. It kind of gave you like almost deja vu-ish of the playoffs against Miami.
yeah. It did. It really did. But again, all in all, hey, it's one game. Let's come out here tonight. We're playing a Washington team that, in my humble opinion, we should be able to beat. Although it will be the battle of the rookies tonight, so that's going to be interesting. And we got back to back, so it's going to be interesting. What's the other guy's? Sar, is that his name? Sar,
Yeah, Alex Sarr. Yeah,
Alex
Alex Sarr.
Sar. So you got Sar versus Ricochet tonight. Gonna
Yeah, man. Battle of the 1 and 2. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I definitely want to, because we got them back to back. I want to win both of those games.
Oh, I want to dominate.
Yes, sir.
I want to dominate. I definitely. Robert Blackman says, I believe JJ put too much pressure on himself since he signed his contract. Yes, Robert. Yeah, and that's what I
Yeah,
was saying.
man.
That's one.
Yeah, that's what T. Will was saying. But
But I was
my
saying,
thing is, you in the NBA, man.
yeah,
I mean, some the thing about it is like some guys aren't ready for the lights, and I just like I hope that that's not the case for JJ. Again, 3 games in, don't want to overreact, but it's just like, come on, man. Everyone knows you're supposed to be the number 2. You're working out with LeBron, what I'm saying, who is considered the GOAT to some people. I'm just like, my thing is, you working to improve. Show us what you got, man. Show the league what you got. For real.
hey, and again, he's got to work through it. Like you say, it's the third game, but that's human. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, Chris, that happens a lot. That happens a lot, especially in certain areas, right? Like New York, everybody
Yeah.
can't play in New York. Everybody cannot deal with that pressure and that media and everything everybody cannot play in New York. And I'm not saying that's not the case here. All right. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that putting internal pressure on yourself is understandable. And it's just something that JJ has to work through. And I don't know this. Look, I'm not his therapist. I haven't talked to the guy. I'm not in the locker room. I'm just, from my 360 view, you know what I mean? Looking down at the situation from outside, it looks like he's tentative. To your point, it looks like I want to do it, but no, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to look bad. I want to take this shot instead of just playing with reckless abandon. You can't be thinking too much out there. This is muscle memory, JJ. You got to do what got you there, but they're just there has to come a certain maturity, right? Like I'll give you a perfect example. Kiki Hernandez, I think, hit the winning home run or had the winning hit for the Dodgers to go to the World Series. And when they interviewed him and they said, "Hey, what's different about this team?" He literally goes, and this was funny, and I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but he literally goes, "Are we live?" The analyst goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We just don't give an F. We just don't give an F." And JJ is going to have to get to the point to where he just doesn't care. Look, I'm going to go out there and play. I'm not going to think about the expectations. I'm not going to think about who I should be in people's minds. I'm just going to go out here and dominate like I've been doing. And when he gets to that point, he'll be okay. Those are my thoughts. But I agree with Robert 100%. I think JJ is too much in his head. I think he's thinking about, oh God, I'm going to look bad. And you can't do that. You got to get out there and play the game. So, Chris, it's 7:30. Game's about to start. We got a few more minutes left. Let's talk about tonight's matchup. What are you looking to see from the Hawks tonight after last night's performance? What are your thoughts?
Shoot, man. To be honest with you, man. Again, I want domination. I mean, I know it's a back to back. So, if the Hawks come out a little sluggish, I know that's going to be the first thing people go to. Oh, it was on a back to back. You're in the NBA. You're going to play back to backs. Everybody's going to play back to backs, just different times. So, at the end of the day, I just think that this squad
Yeah,
is not as good as you overall as a team. I do think that maybe we'll see some Larry Nance tonight, just because back to back, maybe he can get some minutes
yeah,
and be a factor. Trey, I would love if like if Kobe Buffkin was able to just to be available tonight. Of course he's not, but it'd be lovely if he did, because you could kind of like dial back some of Trey's minutes a little bit, and
yeah,
as long as like the floor of the game is not going crazy, like Kobe maybe could have had some other time, but Kobe's not there.
yeah,
Um, so really though, like it's just like I don't want to play Trey too many minutes back to back like that. And I know we got to play Washington again on
right.
Wednesday, so that's a flight right after the game,
Mm-hmm.
or what I'm saying, or at least a day or so after the game. So overall, I want to see our team be connected. I want to see fight and effort, just like I did last night. I seen fight and effort, but for 4 quarters, I need guys to be able to knock down shots, because the basketball is getting to guys. Offense has never really been our problem. It's been the defense. But last night, our offense um, wasn't able to uplift us enough. The defense, we had effort, but it was just too much. After that 13-0 run, it was just too much. You just seen the Hawks completely fall apart on both ends of the floor.
Yeah,
So again, a full 48 minutes, talk to each other, rotate, give extra effort, give maximum effort. You're giving effort. Okay. I want people to hear me clearly that the Hawks are giving plenty of effort,
yeah,
but give maximum effort on every play, make everything tough. People are not going to score 120 tough points. It's just not going to happen. 120 tough points is not going to happen.
yeah,
So continue to make it tough on teams, continue to be scrappy, continue to fight. And, I feel like, so the Hawks can continue to do that and put the ball in the basket. We'll be fine tonight. We should be able to take care of business. The home crowd is there. So the home crowd needs to do what they need to do, to help give these guys some energy. You just came off the road. So they're gonna need the fans tonight as well. That's gonna be important to help them get this dub tonight. So execution, um, definitely managing the rotation, the minutes,
mm,
and playing together, playing for each other,
yeah,
playing with each other, and not against each other.
yeah, yeah. No, agreed 100%. definitely have to play with each other. I'd like to see more cohesiveness, and like you say, man, you
Yeah,
said this 48 minutes. If we can come out and play 48 minutes, we can compete with just about anybody. If
I truly believe that.
so, and it doesn't always mean winning, but it means we can compete with anyone. And just looking at everyone that we have on this team is definitely a possibility. So, hey,
Give
man, with
yourself an
that being said,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah,
That's all you need to do, bro. Just give yourself opportunity. My thing is you're not going to win every game, but if
yeah,
you can stay in every game and keep every game competitive and
you got
close, you got a chance in every single game.
yeah,
And my
yeah,
thing is, more games are going to fall into your direction of the win column than the loss column when you're giving maximum effort because we have talent. It'd be
yeah,
different if we're just giving effort and everybody or half the team was just sorry. It's
yeah.
That's not the case. We got guys that can put the ball in the basket. We're not fully healthy,
Hmm.
so that's something else to take in consideration. So they just play it together and go ahead and go 3-1 tonight.
Let's do it,
Beat the
man.
teams you're supposed to beat, baby.
Hey, amen,
That's what
amen.
good teams do.
That's what good teams do. Absolutely. So, Chris, do me a favor. Tell the folks where they can find you. I know you do a million podcasts. I tell you what, man, Chris A1 is, other than Ryan the historian and Dixon Way, probably the most busiest man in this business because
Oh,
he's doing
and Schmitty.
and Smith. How could I forget Smitty? Smitty's the father. Smitty's the
Smitty be doing it, man. I'm
Wait,
telling you.
what's that? He's the Hefe. He's the
Right.
Hefe in this business because he's doing it, and he's been doing it for years. So I got to give him his props. But
Yeah, man.
in all seriousness, tell these folks where they can find you, man.
Hey, man, you can definitely find me on YouTube, A1 Forever Sports. That's the show that is cooler, flyer too. And also, we be generational because it's always time to be, and we don't settle for less because we can always have more with the vision. Like to welcome my new supporters and salute to all my day ones, my old supporters. I don't even want to call you really old supporters, but the people that's been following the channel and coming and showing up and everything. I know we just went over 2400 on the supporters for A1 Forever Sports.
Wow,
Right now, yeah, man, right now the channel is growing,
yeah,
and I'm saying I give all glory to God. Can't do it without him. You know, um, and that's honestly, but yeah, so that's going on. You can find me on TikTok, the real A1 Forever. We're over 1,000 follows on there, and but Twitter and Instagram, like those two are a little bit tougher, but you can definitely find me A1 Forever on both of those platforms as well. And come through, have a conversation, give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Just because it's coming through.
good deal, good deal. Well, hey, man,
Oh, and make sure you catch us tomorrow night. I mean, not tomorrow. Hold on, tomorrow Tuesday.
nice.
Catch us Wednesday night. Catch us Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the Dallas Cowboys versus Atlanta Falcons preview. Going to
Okay,
have some special guests on this week. Last week was kind of like, just the bros last week. With the round two versus Tampa Bay. But this week we will have guests returning, cowboy content creators and people who represent the Cowboys. So yeah, man, make sure you come through, check that out on Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
good deal, brother. And again, we had discussed maybe hopping on after tonight's game. Is that still a
Yeah,
possibility?
yeah. I mean, shoot, I'm down for it, man. As long as nothing comes up, I am definitely down because I'm definitely about to check out this game.
Good deal. All right, so I'll be quick. First and foremost, everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be with us. We appreciate that. We cannot thank you enough. We do this for you. I am T Will. I am on One Time for the Fan, typically on Sundays, Wednesdays at 8 p.m., Friday at 9 a.m. I'm on my own channel for my ATL Sports One on Fridays at 7 p.m., Sundays after the game, and now Monday mornings at 8 a.m. And every now and then we'll do a Hawks podcast, which is what this is tonight. Again, I am at For My ATL Sports One. Please like, share, and subscribe if you get the chance. Would love to have you as a subscriber. And hey, would just love the fellowship with you guys as we talk Falcons, Braves, Hawks, whatever you guys want to talk. So Again, guys, thank you. I want to thank God. Would not be here without him. Thank him every day for everything that he's doing, because he's definitely doing it and doing it well. Last but not least, I got to thank my boy Jack Spade and my brother Eric Parker, who got me in this business. Brother Chris A1 from day one, like I said, man, my brother from another, always loved doing shows with you. Hopefully, we'll continue to do that, brother, for many, 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 many years to come. And hey, man, let's keep growing. Let's watch these Hawks keep growing, and let's see if we can't have a successful season. Hawks are about to play, so we'll see you guys after the game. Go Hawks! Let's get a
Let's go.
victory
Let's
tonight,
go.
and you guys be great. Thanks, everybody, and good night.